Hey everybody, Ben here from DMC Films and Cinderblock Studios, and welcome to Live Art Hangout number 48, hanging out with Sage the Third. I am hanging out with fellow Pittsburgh artist Robert Sage. So, Robert, if you'd like to take it away, introduce yourself and anything you want to kick off tonight's conversation with, I suppose.
Gotcha. I'm Robert Sage. I do illustration. Right now I'm working on stuff for IP, and I'm also doing cover work for a friend in Florida. So I'm doing a bunch of stuff here. So right now I'm doing a character for a comic, and yeah.
All right. So I hope you've got feedback going somewhere.
Where?
I don't know. I heard myself for a second there.
Oh,
Going
crap.
back again. It's gone now, so you seem to have locked it out or whatever. Okay. All right. Anyway, so yeah, bound to be an interesting night for those of you joining in to watching or watching after the stream is live tomorrow or later on down the road. So I'm still kind of setting up a little bit. I'm working on finishing this piece called River of Gold. It's going to have a painting process video with it, so I also have to make sure I'm working on recording that as well throughout the course of tonight, and avoiding glare and other such things for you guys to make the stream as hopefully seamless as humanly possible. So yeah, bound to be an interesting night. Make sure I keep the chat open too, because I will forget about that a lot. All right. So I think a fun thing to start since you're new to the streams.
Yeah.
Is I would like to hear a bit about your sort of starting into art. We talked a little bit about your inspirations a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a week ago. I can't remember. Something about I think I brought up like Chris Oatley and Noah Bradley, and you're like, oh, and I'm like, oh. Yeah. So, so what's your artistic journey been like?
Oh, it's I started like seriously painting about like 7 years ago, and since then it's just been learning process after learning process. So I originally started in fine art, and I was really into oils and doing my own canvas stuff, and I guess like a year ago, I decided, because of my own interests, to just start doing things and get into like narrative art kind of stuff, like with comics and storyboarding, character design, covers. So yeah, I've been doing that, and I've been doing some client work with like you see here, and mostly do gallery shows. Once I get this up, I can do a lot more.
Nice. I do want to interrupt you for a minute. Are you using headphones?
No. Should I be?
You might want to be. Yeah, probably.
Okay, I'll be right back.
I'm getting a little bit of some things with your audio, so that could be part of it.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. once you get them in, you'll probably have to change it. There'll be a little gearbox in the Hangout window.
Oh,
Because you'll plug them in and then you'll have to actually change it in the settings. But.
mhm. All right, we've got it.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Not a problem.
Mhm.
So yeah, so as you were saying.
Oh, what was I talking about? It was like how I got into art and all that.
Yeah, you talked about moving from fine art into more illustration.
Mm-hmm. And I guess that's where I'm at right now. So I'm just, yeah. I'm very.
Well, that's a process.
Yeah, it is. I've been doing a lot of that. So.
Oh, that's good.
Now, what about you?
Oh man. Depends on what you want to know.
Right.
In terms of painting, I've been painting for about 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Started when I was about 10.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was like a Christmas present or a birthday present. I got like a acrylic starter set. I just completely fell in love with the medium and the process of painting. But it wasn't until about college that I kind of really started to discover how much I really loved to work on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Since I didn't go to school for art, I went to school for theology. So I found my, like, I spent more time painting than studying. So I'm like, maybe there's something to this.
Mm-hmm. So you're self-taught. Very neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly. I think that's why, like, I'm more towards like character design and all that, is because I'm is what they like. I'm classically trained, so they focus more on the figure and all that. But I guess I think I learned more of what I know now outside of college.
Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of had a thing like I didn't realize how much I loved to learn until I stopped going to school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Like when it didn't become forced, I could tackle things on my own terms, and everything just became so much nicer.
That's how I learned how to build a computer.
Yeah.
I just did.
Sounds about right. I convinced one of my friends from the YouTube art community here to build a computer, and she was like, "Oh yeah!" Once I did it, it was just like, bam, right in. Oh, Juanita's out in the comments, as well as Joe Darkbug.
Oh, that's my one friend.
I was gonna say it's got to be somebody you know, because that's not a name I recognize.
Yeah.
So welcome, guys. For those of you just joining in, I'm hanging out here talking to Robert Sage, fellow Pittsburgh artist and illustrator, and we're hanging out talking about art and hope to hear from you guys in the comments. My white balance is still off.
Oh yeah.
This is what I get for tweaking it by hand instead of by. So I looked up and I'm like, it's bluer than it should be, and it's just.
So
that's a little better. Yeah. So thanks, guys, for joining in. Hope you'd find this informative, entertainment, and things. And I'm losing my train of thought.
Let's see.
So what was it that introduced you to the digital medium?
Oh, I think it was, like I said, Chris Oatley. I was searching on the net for like ways to get into illustration. I guess the way he did things kind of interested me, so that kind of led to that whole journey of just not looking back. Like I think last year, it was more like I'm gonna make a digital art portfolio kind of thing, and it just kind of turned into my favorite thing because I used to just have everything on canvas or in traditional medium. So it seems a lot more my style.
Well, when when you find a medium that resonates with you, of course, it's gonna just like kind of create a revolution in your work.
Yeah, for sure. Like before experimenting with like watercolor, and I thought that was gonna be like where I'd change to after I got like a lot of work in oils, but because I like to just experiment a lot. So
Right.
yeah, that worked out, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be said about trying different media, which is something I advocate on the channel a lot, but to the point where I think my subscribers are tired of hearing me say it.
Yeah, it's always good to get out of your comfort because you never know what might, make you like art a lot more.
Yeah. Really should be recording some of this.
You should.
Okay, get a little more weight for this grayish color. So would you say then your primary medium is Photoshop there that I see?
Yeah. Sometimes Coral. Mostly Photoshop.
I've heard good things about Coral, but I've also heard that it has a issue with like crashing that they haven't fixed in like 10 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. It's I don't know. That's what I mean.
You don't want to bash them on air, I get it.
Exactly.
Like if I talk bad about them, then they'll never send me free stuff.
Exactly.
Although I had a whole video about them, like, yeah, I tried these Copic markers and I didn't like them at all.
Mm-hmm.
Although since making that, a lot of people have told me like I basically used them wrong. They're like, no, you don't use it on that paper.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wow, I thought I was a purist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I need to. I have. I keep running out of Copics. The Copics I have are. I just mainly use the grayscale to do like quick sketches for practice, and I always run out of them.
Yeah, I had gotten 3. I gotten like three different neutral grays that I just played with, and I used them in my sketchbook, and they were dry in a month. I was like, well, that was a ripoff.
They are refillable though, so
Yeah, I didn't know that, and I just threw them away. So everyone goes, oh. I'm like, I'm sorry.
oh no.
I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
I probably won't buy them again, but. And I was also told that
Right.
sketch paper specifically like soaks up the ink in them, which is why they dried out as fast as they did. Though I was using them basically as my daily drivers, so that's a thing too. Okay. Move it along. Slide that over. Get some blue. Some fresh blue. So you really just found Chrysotle stuff just through searching, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I was actually forget how I found them. I was searching for like the hero with 1,000 faces. Oh wait, no. He advocated that. But I was looking through for like storytelling for like a comic, because I've always been interested in comics, but I was just terrible at it, and I still probably am. But I needed that kind of what's it called?
I don't know. I don't know.
that kind of site to show me like all the ins and outs of like in illustration, and so it was pretty, yeah.
So just sort of a guide, basically. Yeah, there's a lot of young artists I seem to run into online that are just like, I want to get into, digital concept art or whatever, and they have no idea what that job entails. They're just like, I'm going to do it because I want to make, it's the thing is it's good to do it because you want to make cool stuff, but you also have to know what you're getting into.
Exactly.
I'm really good at talking to myself.
Now, where do I find these comments?
If you go to the watch page for this live show that I linked to, it'll be in a little thing on next to the video. It'll just say like live chat.
I feel like a techno plebe. My one professor told me she's a techno maven. There we go.
Pretty quiet tonight, but it's not one of my normal. The thing is, I didn't really announce it ahead of time, so I was just kind of like, "Oh yeah, we're doing this thing."
For sure.
So things tend to be a little quiet.
How many subscribers do you have?
How many what? Oh, subscribers? Hell, I haven't looked in a while. I haven't looked in a while. Hold on. I have to open the page up. I have a few, but it's like the dedicated audience is a little bit smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. $2,853.
Very neat.
Which is, in the grand scheme of things, isn't a lot, but to me, that's kind of nuts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, what? All you people think I'm worth subscribing to? That's crazy.
People like your art.
Huh?
I said people must like your art.
Yeah, or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the only reason I've gotten to where I am is because enough people have been like, yeah, you're really good. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So they keep telling me.
How many works do you usually work on at once?
So you're a coffee person, huh?
Oh yeah.
I'm not a coffee person.
Mm-hmm.
I
What do you like drinking?
Huh?
So what do you like drinking?
Yeah. You're having coffee, which wakes you up. I'm having alcohol, which, depending on who you are, if you're someone like me,
Oh.
if you're someone like me, it just kind of relaxes you.
Mm-hmm. That actually does that to me as well. I'm just brave. When it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah. The one thing I can't do is get drunk and then paint because everything goes away.
Mm-hmm. I've tried doing that, and it didn't turn out well.
Yeah, I usually just end up kind of sitting and just staring at like a blank something and being like, I don't know what to do anymore. I've forgotten. How do I do this?
Exactly. My paintings usually turn into like abstract expressions.
That's people aren't supposed to know that. I can't really remember how I came across Chris Oatley's stuff, but it had been one of those things where like somebody posts and then it like a fan probably like spread it around or something. I honestly can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
I discovered it. I'm like, this is awesome. Like, this isn't the kind of stuff that I want to make, but you know, I like love the conversations and everything that goes into it.
Exactly.
It's always fun though when I go to the site and every now and then when I'm posting a comment on something, everyone's like, oh, this, and I'm gonna get into animation and this, and then there's me, and I'm like, I'm a traditional acrylic landscape artist by trade, but I really like your stuff, and this is,
Mm-hmm.
I always feel like the oddball out.
To be honest, your work looks like a lot of what's it called? Yeah. For some reason,
Well,
my
I love this stuff, and it inspires me. But I love physical paint, so I want to push the concepts and the techniques into, like the older media.
exactly. That's pretty good.
Like I put up every month on my website. I release what I call my inspiration libraries, which is basically just a set of digital paintings that I found. Like I'll like sketch from and do studies of and everything, and like 99% of them are all like digital paintings.
Mm-hmm.
but I'll rarely do just like a full digital piece.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw the one you did, the night gallery.
Oh yeah, which one? Because I think I've got 3 there. I think.
I think I saw a digital one.
I have never done a printed digital piece.
Oh wait, no, you sent me one. You sent me a digital. It was right after the night gallery show, and then you sent me a digital piece. But yeah, I saw your.
It may have been one of the concepts for one of the new pieces.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw a couple of your works there. That were pretty nice.
I'm trying to think what's at the night gallery right now. The dystopian posters is up there,
Mm-hmm.
which was a fun project.
There's one with like a bunch of jagged rocks.
The tufts, the color tufts. Yeah. That's an old one.
Mm-hmm.
But a good one, but an old one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a fun piece to do.
Mm-hmm.
That was copy of the newspaper glued to the thing, and then such. I've been meaning to get back down there for one of the shows, but just haven't been down yet. The guy, I don't know if you know him. Well, he was there with a double mirror painting with us, James Gettner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've kind of gotten to know him a little bit more. I met him a couple years ago, and he's kind of been instrumental in getting me and been giving me advice for like, hey, you should check these places out and everything like that.
Oh yeah. He told me about
Huh?
Oh no, he told me about a bunch of places to try to get work.
Yeah.
He's a pretty good guy.
Little
He's
odd.
good around. Mm-hmm.
I did an interview with him for the channel.
Oh, cool.
Which was a really fun day.
Mm-hmm.
Talked about how he got started when he was real young, so it's pretty neat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a good guy. I met him like a year ago, and apparently he's done work for like really high-end clients in Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
I've heard about a couple of them here and there. I don't think he's done a lot of them recently. When I talked to him, he said he used to get more of them in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's when it was. That's when Pittsburgh wasn't kind of rust belt. Oh well.
Yeah. But it's great to have you on a stream here. It's cool to be hanging out with another Pittsburgh artist because it's so rare.
Exactly. Yeah, we should like what's it called? One of those meetup things, and try to get people more integrated, or kind of a what's it called? I think you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's sort of a collective of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
We have, I'm going to butcher this name. I do it every time. Utrillis in the comments says, "Your privilege for I keep pushing my bedtime further and further back." You're welcome. Although since the last time I did a stream, I've been on my new job, so I'm not doing as many late nights anymore, or really any.
Yeah, I do too many late nights.
It wears you out after a while.
Mm-hmm.
Utrillis, good to see you in the comments. Glad to have you here. If anyone else is just joining in, I'm hanging out tonight with Robert Sage, fellow Pittsburgh artist and illustrator. Hanging out, talking about art and projects and inspirations and all kind of stuff while we get some work done.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Make sure you don't dip your brush in your drink.
Oh dear God, I've done that.
I've almost done it enough times, which is why I now keep my water and my drink separate. Although I for a split second almost went over to the one side because it's closer.
Mm-hmm. Now here's a question: do you do any tutorial vids? Or have you ever done any tutorial vids?
So oh, I got a whole playlist of like 50 of them.
Yeah.
I started. What was it? Because I put my first official like art video up in like 2010, maybe 2009, but I didn't like become an art channel until like 2012.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I'm like, okay, there's clearly something to this, so I just like, okay, I'll do a weekly video, and now I'm putting close to 2 out every week. Sometimes I only get 1, but it's usually 2.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so much fun, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
But this is debatable. I like to say that I'm one of the top tier in terms of acrylic painting. Because when I started, it was me and like 3 or 4 other people, and now there's like 24.
Mm-hmm.
And some people are definitely much better. But it's like when I started, like I wasn't happy with what I saw out there. I'm like, you know what? I guess I'll start doing stuff. Because everything was either nothing was beginner focused. Everything it was like kind of assumed you had some kind of knowledge already. So like everything I try and do is beginner focused.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's a good idea.
I was talking to another friend of mine from the art community here, and it reminded me something about, like, if you search acrylic painting just in the YouTube search bar, it's going to be like, how far do you have to go to get to one of my videos? And I'm on page 2, which is pretty good.
That's good.
I think I used to be on page 1 for a couple of things, but competition has gone up a little in years past.
Very good.
But I don't mind. The only thing that bothers me is when people give bad advice, or just wrong advice, because there's a lot of that out there too. It's like there's one video that I reference a lot because of how much it ticks me off, and it's about thinning acrylic paint. And there's this lady, and she's like, "If you thin your paint too much, it'll chip off." And I'm like, "What? I have never had that happen." Like, I don't know what you're working on that you're having your paint chip off.
Right. Makes sense in oil, but
yeah, not in
acrylic.
the only time it really would happen with acrylic is if your surface was too smooth. So if you like paint it on glass, or clayboard will do it, because clayboards roll. But my point when I did my sort of video on it was like, there's 2 factors. Is your surface prepped, and is your paint dirt cheap? If your paint's dirt cheap, it's going to have problems. If your surface isn't prepped, it's going to have problems. But it's kind of self-explanatory to some degree.
Yeah.
So were you talking before about doing a Picardo stream? Have you done those before? Or?
Yeah, I've done those. They're fun. I just need to get OBS working.
Yeah, I've got a copy of it myself. I'm actually going to be trying out a Twitch stream at the end of the month, since they opened it up to artists now, and I'm always impressed with their streaming quality. So we're going to see how that goes.
Yeah.
But for those watching here on the channel, I'm not totally going to stop streaming on YouTube. Just want to give that as a disclaimer. But I am exploring my options to that degree. Trying to think about where I want things to go in the next year, and yeah, this is starting to come together now. I hate it less than I did an hour ago.
It's a vicious cycle.
Yep. I saw this, I think it was a t-shirt or just maybe a picture, I don't know what it was. But it was basically just like the steps of the creative process, and it was like, this is a really great idea. Oh, I don't think this is going to work. Oh my God, I hate this. This is terrible. What am I doing? Then it goes to, maybe I know how to fix this. Oh, this isn't that bad. And it's like, you know what? I actually like this. Finish.
Yeah. That's how it goes.
But I've kind of worked in my own, I guess you could call it a bit of a fail-safe, is I try not to judge a work in progress as if it's a finished piece.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you do that, it's like, well, it's not done yet. Of course it doesn't look good. That's a nice thick paste right there.
I'll be right back. There's like a dripping in my sink. And it's annoying me to no end.
Just like one drop at a time. Bloop.
Exactly. Okay.
Saw another comment up from Utrillis there. It's, one thing that's a revolution, maybe revelation for me is to draw is to think. To draw something, I have to think about everything the subject is. To not think is to leave something out. Still blown away by that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good realization to have, to not just kind of mindlessly be working on something. That you're actually putting thought and effort into a piece.
Exactly. Drawing is like meditation.
Yeah,
That's
I've always
what
the way I tend to refer to art as sort of overglorified escapism.
Yeah.
Because I'm just kind of dropping into the world that I'm creating, and it was might have been the last stream I did. I'm not sure, but it was. I think the question came up: what do you think about when you're working? And I'm like, well, nothing. It's the point. The point is not that takes away everything in my day, and would you say that's the same for you, or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the one point where I don't have to. I wouldn't say think, but it's more like the one time I can just spill my thoughts out on the paper.
Yeah.
And not have to worry about judgment. Other than technically.
It's like, then you post it online and it gets ripped apart.
Yes.
Because welcome to the internet. Yay!
That's the process of being an artist.
Yeah, by the way, I really didn't mean anything by that comment this morning.
No. Perfectly fine.
I feel like you took that really the wrong way, and I'm like, oh no, I didn't really mean anything by that.
I did that. That was entirely, yeah. So that's why.
It's also I'm also because I'm used to seeing like complex images.
Sure.
So when I see something simple, I'm like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah. See, I'm like, I don't know. I tend to like it comes from how I was taught. It's simplification doesn't necessarily. I was always taught simplification doesn't necessarily mean what's it called? Technically incorrect.
Oh no, of course not.
For sure.
But it's there. It's because there's the design part of art, and then there's the like because I lean into the fine arts, so everything I think about tries to be more both visually rich as well as, like, I guess you could say, philosophically dense.
Mhm.
You know. So and it's just like
Definitely.
this is something I made. I'm like, oh, I remember when I was that naive.
Mhm.
Well, because
Yeah.
I didn't used to. It took me a while. I did a live show a little while ago about sort of breaking into the art market, and one of the things is like learning to talk about your art. Because somebody
Mhm.
would ask me like, hey, what were you thinking about when you made that? And I'm like, I don't know. You know, it's like that's not how you start a conversation. Yeah.
Exactly. That's something I always struggled with until very recently. Like, I used to just not know how to talk about my art, but then it just, the more I listened to people that I admired talk about their art, the more I realized I related to it. And that's how
Yeah.
I can talk about my art. Because I agree with a lot of things they say.
Yeah, I think that's in a lot of ways how I kind of figured it out, and I would say I, like you, have only sort of recently figured it out. I would say in the past couple of years, maybe, or even couple. I
Mhm.
would say about a year or so. It's been that I've really kind of been able to talk more complexly about my work, and so much of that had to do with a conversation I had with Stikra. I don't know if you follow any of his work or
Yeah.
not, but
Yeah.
got to be in a few live shows with him over the course of a couple of years, which have been good. But
Mhm.
he said something about style, about how it's about knowing what you like.
For
And
sure.
after that conversation, that thought kind of got in my head a little bit deeper. And it was a lot about just thinking, I'm like, what do I really like, and why do I like it? Which I think is the other question: is why do you like the things you like? And when I started thinking about why, I started to be able to explain my work.
Mhm. It's also all about figuring out what's valuable, I guess,
Yeah,
about what you find valuable. And a lot of it is about meaning. Like, it's not so much asking, what do you mean? But it's more like,
or what are you trying to say?
what's the
And and
story?
and a, yeah, I learned a lot about story from Chris Oatley's podcasts in particular, and the concept of story is something I never thought about until I started listening to his stuff. And so I think I have a couple of sketchbooks back. I think one of my starting lines was like, "What kind of stories will your art tell?" Which is prior to like a year ago, I'd never really thought about it. And like as soon as you start thinking about something like that, like your work gets better because you're making the conscious effort to think about it.
Mhm.
All right, I got to let this dry, so that's probably all I'm going to work on it for today. But I've got several other projects to do.
Mhm.
To work
Bob Ross's videos on Twitch.
on. Oh, that was so much fun.
Yeah.
It's like something like they peaked at like 50 or 75,000 people watching at once.
Mhm.
And I'm like, there's hope for art, yay!
Exactly.
Specifically, there's hope for painting.
Mhm.
Because as much as I appreciate digital painting, it bums me out when people are like, I'm gonna put down my paints and just do digital. I'm like, no, don't do that.
That's kind of like what I did. I didn't really put them down. I just
Well, changing your
started doing more
primary medium
digital.
versus that's something
Just
I run into.
completely not doing.
Yeah, I run
Yeah.
into this stuff a lot. I'm on the DeviantArt forums all the time, and you get people. They're like basically switch to digital and like don't even keep a sketchbook, and it's like, why? It's like you still have to do that.
See what?
Speaking of sketchbooks, I need to work in mine.
There you go. See what working with a pen can do for you is get you away from doing the undo or using the undo as a crutch, and not only that, the physical action of like not only is it portable, but like the physical, like using the pen on a piece of paper, the friction.
It's tactile.
Yes. My one teacher said it so much better, so much more eloquently. But yeah, that's why I always keep a sketchbook and pen.
Mm-hmm. So where'd my stool go? Over here. All right. I know the people watching the stream will always love seeing my sketches because I don't sketch live very often. So it's bound to be a nice treat.
There you go. Nice.
Huh?
Nice thumbnail.
Oh yeah, I basically just work in thumbnails.
Mm-hmm. I do a lot of those.
Wasn't always that way though.
Yeah.
Lots of sketchbooks full of crap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always good to just have a bunch of ideas first. You know, all the stuff is not good.
Yeah.
I should follow my own advice.
It did occur to me that I never sent any invites out to the other community members. I should do that.
Sure do that.
No. I think who's online normally?
I'll do a vehicle sketch.
Why is it not like this? Don't seem to like things for some reason. Oh, whatever. Oh, wait a minute. I can post this out on our group page that I keep forgetting about. I lose track of the stuff easily.
Yeah.
All right. So, if anyone's just joining in, I'm hanging out. Digital projects. Was painting earlier, but over in my sketchbooks now, talking about all kind of art-related things, and hope to see you guys in the chat for some conversation.
Mm-hmm.
As I lose track of everything that I'm posting online.
Mm-hmm. I do that a lot.
Well, also, on the Wi-Fi and on the furthest point away in the house, while my dad's upstairs watching Netflix, so things are always bound to be a little slow.
Yeah.
Now, if I was working in Photoshop upstairs, on an Ethernet connection, wouldn't be a problem.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you usually start with underpainting? Or do you just go full on color to begin with? Did you hear it? Oh well.
Getting there eventually. All right, back to sketching. And my pen disappeared.
Oh, darn.
Where the hell did I sit it? There it is. Go across the room, leave it sit, come back.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll get around to finishing this today, hopefully. Anyway, but yeah. Trying to get this done. Or at least this page anyway. I'd like to just do a sketch today and work on some other stuff and probably do more. Did a lot of procrastinating today. It's like, I'll work on it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. It's never good, but hey.
Well, nothing I do is really client works, so
exactly.
I have the freedom to just ignore stuff all the time.
Mm-hmm.
On the flip side of that, though, I have a day job.
For sure. Yeah, I know that feel too.
I work in the morning, and I can come home and play.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's the thing that I got into a nice argument on someone on the forums with, and it was just like, want to hear from professional artists and things, and I'm like, well, I'm a professional artist. It's like, oh, is it your full-time job? I'm like, no. And they're like, oh, well, you're not a professional artist. Like, whoa, hello. I was like, excuse me?
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. The internet is not good with that kind of stuff. A lot of artists have multiple jobs.
It's like there are very few people out there that can sustain their art just on their art.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of us have jobs.
Mm-hmm. Was this on Reddit or What's it called? Deviant. Is my mic working?
Huh?
Is my mic working?
It's you've been kind of choppy all night.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's just my voice because I usually talk really low.
Well,
Mm,
part of it's also internet connection, because there's
yeah.
I know there's no good internet connection in Pittsburgh with the exception of FiOS, but nobody can afford FiOS, so.
Yeah.
Although I was so bummed the other day. My mom was like, "Oh, your brother got fiber internet." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Oh, God.
Like, crap! I should start uploading video to his house.
Yeah.
Working on my 2 gig video upload on a 0.5 megabit per second upload.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like a boss.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I tell people, some of the other YouTube artists, I tell them that, and they're like, "How the hell can you even upload a video on that speed?" I'm like, "It takes all day."
Mm-hmm. I believe it.
There was one. Anytime I do like a big 30, 40-minute tutorial, I'll start it in the morning, and it'll be done at after dinner.
Wow. So you have DSL or?
Huh?
You have DSL or do you have broadband?
It is some level of DSL. It's like the basicest, the most basic kind of thing you can get. It's maybe one up. I think our download speed's 3.
Ah, darn. I could never imagine that.
It's honestly shocking that I can stream on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I sold a piece recently out of Delaney's too.
Yeah, neat. Which one?
Nice. Small square one. It was red. Towery things. So I get this text from Chris, and he's like, "Oh, hey, one of your pieces sold. Also, I'm leaving for vacation tomorrow, so I'll try and get the checkout before then." I'm like, God. And I got it. He was able to get it before I left, but it was yeah, I'll try and get this out. Back, Chris.
Fill up the face of the earth.
What?
Oh no, I told him. Or I was trying to get all of them.
Man, you're really choppy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's cool. So if you just this is just going to be hit or miss. I don't know if it'll actually work, but if you just refresh the Hangout window, you'll basically essentially be leaving and joining again. But occasionally that'll work. So if you want to give that a shot,
I'm gonna try that. Be right back.
Yeah. Trying to avoid the technical difficulties, but hey, Google, Google, what can you do? It happens. No, Joe, you're still here. I wasn't sure. Coming back in, maybe something. Sounds a little better.
That's good.
So far.
Maybe. And the fact that I have an Acer. It's not the best laptop, but it's a laptop, so better than my Apple.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know how much it helped, but worth a shot.
Yeah. Am I still choppy?
Yeah, kind of in and out a little. I don't know. This thing is, it might be like tomorrow when this stream's like no longer live and it renders and goes up as a video. It might be fine. Like sometimes it's like just live and it's funky, and it also could just be me. If that's happened a lot before too. So
could be Google Hangouts because they stopped supporting it, and
yeah,
I forget how long ago.
Oh, we got a question. I guess from the first few sketches, shapes. Particularly, most of my thumbnails start as a page of these mini thumbnails, which is a technique I picked up from some artist I found on DeviantArt. And I've linked to it a few times, but I might still be able to find it. But it's basically these tiny, tiny little boxes, and you're just thinking about like your positive and negative space. And then from that, I basically pull out the framework of the lines and then start finding structures within it. And a lot of times it's rocks, and this one worked as a tree. A lot of these other ones were like more abstract, but I started finding little structures within them. And then sometimes they're based off of another piece, like this one. I did a quick compositional sketch based off of a digital piece, and then the lower one here, I played with the concept of the valley, but I just pushed the extremes a little bit more.
Yeah.
Just used it to influence that much. What about you, Robert? What's your sketch process like?
I usually start with a lot of simple shapes, like that, like you just mentioned. I could do a kind of demo here. Just gotta. Since I'm more of a character kind of artist, start with what is referred to as just a maquette, or no, it's not a maquette. It's yeah, it is a maquette or mannequin. Never mind. It's just like rough kind of.
You're
Am I not? Am I breaking
no, I don't
up?
think you are. Or you were. Your audio is better, but I think the video for both of us has been dropping a little bit, which is
Okay.
wonderful.
Well, anyway, here's a better. If you pick up a book that really influenced how I draw, like figures and all that, it's called Michael Hampton's Figure Drawing and Invention. That's usually how I'll start figures, is just by like simple like line studies like this kind of, and so we can keep like perspective in mind like that. It's hard to explain all of it in like just one video, but like most of it is like posing, but yeah, generally to think of a mood and how somebody would portray that. It's good to take a lot of acting or know a lot about like screenplays, acting, and like how to portray emotion. So like here's another example. Like this starting out. If I could find it, how about this? Like this started out. If I take out all the layers. It's pretty much a red line sketch like this. And even that had its roots kind of in sketchier stuff that didn't even make sense, as you can see here. But I think I just find my the lines in kind of just sketching, scratching at the paper, kind of, and then going. Another good person to look up is Scott Robertson. He has a great video.
Oh, I love his stuff.
Mm-hmm. He has a great video about drawing and just sketching and not worrying too much about the form initially and thinking more of the movement. Especially another one to look at is not Scott Robertson, it's Steven Silver. Yes, Steve.
Oh,
no, yeah, he has a lot about drawing characters without just with just thinking about how the line travels, I guess. So just mostly basically on movement, focus on movement.
Nice.
Because you're like more of a landscape artist, and actually a lot of that ties in with like the movement and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, your basic elements and principles are going to cut across any type of work.
Mm-hmm.
What is all over my hand? Ink, probably.
Mhm. That's what I used to say a lot whenever I used to do a lot of oils. Just find, especially whenever I was working with phthalo blue, just find phthalo blue everywhere.
I've gotten away from phthalo blue a lot, though. I'm a big fan of Prussian blue.
Mm-hmm.
And cerulean if I'm doing more like brighter blue. I'll use a cerulean.
Oh, here's another.
Being phased out.
For sure. This actually, if I can find it, gives a good example of how I start a sketch. Not so much focused on detail, always focused on like simple shapes, movement, dynamic form. This is something I just never finished, but that's mostly because started learning a lot about like the form earlier this year, and this kind of just fell to the wayside. But yeah, a lot of.
I feel like you can recreate that though.
Oh yeah.
Use the concept of it and then just like basically build it up from scratch again,
Mm-hmm.
which is fun to do for things. The recreation of an old piece concept.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
I did that last year. I took the first painting I ever did when I was 10. I still kind of keep around. I have it always kind of been like shoved under something for a long time, and now it's actually on a shelf. It's actually on my countertop in the studio here. But I was like, it was the Liquitex starter set, which you can still buy, which blows my mind. Like the same one I started with, you can still buy. Has like a little project book.
Oh my.
So I had found the project book, and I'm like, holy crap, I still have this thing. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it again. You know, I'll see what this. Well, at the time it was a 14-year difference, in basically trying to follow the steps then, and then knowing everything I know now, doing it again. It's when you see them side by side, it's clearly the same painting, but it's like a night and day difference. It's so much fun.
Yeah, that's always fun to do. I need to maybe do a couple of those because I have some old drawings that are great ideas, but they just look terrible.
Yeah.
I did that with this one.
That's got to be India ink. No wonder it's smearing.
Mm-hmm.
I was working on my bookmarks earlier.
Yeah, I did that with this one. It used to look terrible, and I don't want to show you guys how terrible it looked, but it actually looks pretty presentable now, and it's what got me started in doing really simple shape language, and focusing more on line work, because this kind of I'd say before I used to focus a lot on just too much on exploration with line and not enough on clean stuff. Anyway, the way I explain things is terrible.
The more you do it, though, you'll get better.
Yeah.
You do more streams with me, you'll get better at it.
Good stuff.
So I've found too is that I've become better at filling time with conversation.
Mhm.
Because a lot of my early streams would just be like an hour of like dead air. And I was like, yeah, it's not real good.
No.
But I was having a game night with some friends about 6 months ago or so, and we were like between hands playing a card game, and I'm just like talking because I'm
Mhm.
so used to filling empty time. And I like it hadn't occurred to me, and I was like, holy crap, I'm sorry. Like it's no conversation, and I'm trying to fill it with stuff because I'm so used to doing live shows.
Darn.
And they're like, it's fine, whatever.
Mhm.
Like, really understanding about it, but it's just like this terrible realization where it's just like, wow,
Mhm.
I'm so used to this.
Crap. I just realized I closed the wrong one and I never saved it. So I just lost all my.
Oh.
Don't you hate when that happens? Oh well.
I don't know if I've ever done it on a project that was that important.
Oh, this is just independent stuff. So not
That's a bummer.
right. Well, it wasn't like a huge loss of information. So
Oh, that's good.
yeah.
Yeah, you don't seem super broken up about it.
Oh no. I used to like if I didn't like a painting, I'd just kind of start over.
Yeah.
So because it always seemed that if I started over, it'd make it better because you just have a fresh start. So I never, because I was always taught like you can always make a new one.
Yeah.
So I guess
That's a good mentality to have.
Mhm.
I think that would annoy me too much in a long because I'll lose interest in a project. If I have to do it again, I'll just like nope, forget it, not doing it now.
Yeah. There's always these stories like old masters that used to just piss off their clients because, well, here's one. Da Vinci used to like at the painting the Last Supper. He got to Jesus' face. Everybody's like, "Oh, that's perfect." He's like, "Nah."
Nope.
Paints over it.
Yeah.
Does it completely over.
Yeah.
So that
There
always
was
stuck with me.
my mom was telling me about this book she read one time where it was basically about this extremely arrogant artist and his apprentice, and the story was told from the apprentice. And the apprentice did this beautiful painting in oils and things, and then the artist said, "Okay, here's a knife. Scrape it clean and do it again." And it was just like, "Oh God." I would walk out on that guy. I'm like, absolutely not.
Oh my!
Like that sounds like a nightmare.
It is. Well, what's really sobering is whenever you just lose your entire hard drive, and I've done
Oh
that.
dear. Oh, that would
Well,
that would be devastating to me.
it was okay. It was literally right after I had graduated. It had all of my coursework. The only lucky thing I had out of that was that I had most of it on a DVD, so
Yeah.
in JPEG form.
I lost a bunch of video footage when I was in college once, and I was just like, crap.
Mm-hmm.
And like after that, I started backing up everything on CDs.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not a bad thing. I guess whenever it comes down to it, it's just more work you have to do. But yeah, that's a lot of work to lose.
Yeah. And I don't back up anything really. I just kind of have it in specific places, and I'll shift it around
Mm-hmm.
a lot. Like all of my video stuff is all on an external drive.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all on its own thing. My scratch discs for video editing are on it's like their own SSD.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm better at keeping things safe the way I like now. Well, especially now, it's like running off of a nice desktop versus my old Core 2 Duo laptop that I was using in 2008,
Oh my.
which still holds up pretty well. I gave it to my parents to use when I got my new laptop, and
It's actually like cell phone quality now. Because, what's it called? Cell phones are Core 2.
yeah, it's so nuts.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this cell phone you have in your pocket is more powerful than 6 of the computers you used growing up.
Yeah.
That probably cost like $5,000 a piece.
Mm-hmm. I should have referenced teeth before I started drawing his teeth.
Utrilus says, I don't have anything that I'd regret losing. It's a good attitude to have. I think the only thing... So I kind of feel the same way. Like there isn't a whole lot. Like if my entire system died, I wouldn't lose a ton of stuff. The biggest losses for me would be some like video stuff and some audio mixes that I had done that there's no way I could get back. But outside of that, there isn't a lot that I don't have. There isn't a lot that I have that I don't have anywhere else. Because like all my art gets posted online, so I have everything there. That I can just get the picture back if I need to.
It's, I remember I never used to worry about that whenever I used to do like traditionally everything. But it was just because I just take another picture of it or ask the person I sold it to, like if I could document it. But now it's kind of
like when it's gone, it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's something that if I would ever have to work digitally, that's something I would make a digital painting, and I'd get a big print of it, and then I'd just delete the file, so that would be the only one.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the one thing that still, to this day, still bothers me about. Like my opinions on digital art have loosened up over the years, but my biggest problem is there's no original. There's never the original because it's all just copies.
That's the thing that kind of happened after years. Is that there was just like, well, it felt like I was never going to have ownership of my work because of that. But I think once you get over that, it's not too scary of a thing.
Well, it shouldn't be like devastating or crippling.
Mm-hmm.
That holds you from doing your work.
Mm-hmm.
Dog.
Yep. My neighbor's dogs are adorable. My one neighbor has a.
I think we'll stream for about another 15 minutes or so, and then cut the live portion of this.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think we'll stream for about another 15 minutes or so, and then cut the live portion of this. Gotcha. 15 minutes. 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 15
I am starting to wind down for my night. Because I went from staying up till like 3 in the morning to staying up till like 9 or 10.
Oh my gosh.
Well, because my Monday through Friday job now, I start work at 6 in the morning. So I have to be up at like 4:45. And in order to be up at 4:45, I need to be in bed by like 9.
Yeah.
And so the weekends are really now the only days that I can stay up past like 10 and still be okay.
Exactly.
Tomorrow night I can probably do like 10 at the absolute latest, but
right.
Get to have a little bit of time on the weekends to myself. But on the plus side, I'm up at I get home from work at 2:45, so I have all evening,
That's a good thing.
I'll come home and I'll like work on videos or sketch or whatever. So it was nice to get this job and realize like, hey, I still have time for my art.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Exactly.
It wasn't like I wasn't gonna. Like if it would have conflicted that much, I probably just wouldn't have taken the job. But
it's kind of like my job now. I have a bunch of time in the evenings and in the morning actually. So it's kind of flipped. But I thoroughly enjoy having time to paint.
It's a huge plus. Yeah, I gotta stick these somewhere. All kind of projects to do.
Hope what I've been saying has been informative, or at least entertaining.
Yeah, I mean it's
subscribers.
The live shows are always fun. Well, this one was a little bit slower, particularly in the comments. It was nice of anyone who has been joining, watching tonight. Thanks for tuning in. Hit the like button if you haven't already. It really helps out. Helps things spread around and everything like that. So I guess we'll start working on the wrap up then.
For sure.
So I guess starting to close things out. Thanks again to Robert for joining me here this evening. If you have anything you'd like to plug, website, YouTube page, whatever you want to advertise, feel free to do so now.
I suppose everybody should go to if you want to look at more of my work, go to www.robertjsage.com and you can view that. And I have a store. I also have my email there if you want to contact me professionally. And anything, most of my social media, just go to SagetheThird, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and you can find my work. I'm constantly posting stuff, so yeah.
All right, excellent. And tomorrow I'll have all that. I'll have a bunch of links in the description box for those of you watching post live. So thanks for everybody for joining in the chat. As for me, this is Ben Yako. I'm a visual artist living and working just north of Pittsburgh, PA, here in the United States. If you want to see more of my work, you can check it out at cinderblockstudios.com. Also, be sure to subscribe for more art videos. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in.